Saint John, one of Jesus' 12 apostles, is known as the apostle of love because his writings mainly focus on love. According to a legend from the early church, St. John was the only one among the 12 apostles who lived to an old, ripe age. And in his later years, he experienced failing health, including diminishing eyesight and mental faculties. In St. John's mind had deteriorated to the point where he could only speak 5 words, a single sentence that he would repeat over and over again. Legend has it that every Sunday St. John would address the congregation that he had gathered for worship in the church at Ephesus, where he spent the last years of his life. Even though the congregation already knew what he would say, St. John would stand and look over the assembly. Then the elderly apostle would speak 5 simple words. My children love one another. 5 words. And he repeated these words over and over until he grew tired. Yet no one yawned or gazed off absent-mindedly. The apostle of love, nourished and filled by a profound love for God, repeatedly preached his 5-word sermon. My children love one another. In marriage, the couples commit to loving, accepting, and living with one another forever, in sickness or in health, for richer or poorer. They will live together in comfort or in difficulty. It's like picking up a coin. One picks up the whole coin with 2 sides, and wanting to pick up a coin only with one side is physically impossible. And in today's gospel, Jesus tells us that the 2 greatest commandments, the love of God and the love of neighbor, are inseparable. They are 2 sides of the same coin. Commitment to one can only find meaning and meaning and truthfulness in relation and expression in the other. We can perhaps learn today from Mother Teresa of Calcutta, who once said, God has created us to do small things with great love. I believe that the great love that comes or should come from our hearts should start at home, with my family, with my neighbors across the street, and those right next door. And this love should then reach everyone. The Lord did not tell us to love our neighbors only when they are popular or helpful or beautiful and young. The Lord only told us, love your neighbor. This means that we do so even when they are sick, have become a burden, or are troublesome. I'm sure you have heard this story from me before, and it's worth repeating once again. Once there was a farmer who grew an award-winning corn, and every year he entered his corn in a fair competition at the state level and won a prize. One year, a newspaper reporter interviewed him, and among the many excellent practices the farmer had adopted, the reporter learned something highly interesting about how the farmer grew his corn, which led him to win a prize every year. The reporter found out that the farmer was sharing his best variety of corn seeds with his neighboring farmers. The reporter was puzzled and asked, how can you afford to share the best seed corn with your neighbors when they compete with you in the fair competition? Why, sir, replied the farmer, didn't you know that one of the important realities of life is that the wind picks up pollen from the ripening corn and soars it from field to field? If my neighbors grow an inferior variety of corn, the cross-pollination will steadily degrade the quality of my corn as well. And if I am to grow good corn, I must help my neighbors grow good corn. Yes, the farmer was very much aware of the relatedness of life. His corn could not improve unless his neighbor's corn also improved. Have we realized this reality of our lives? In order to get the best out of life, I need to give my best to the other. Those who choose to live well must also help others to do the same. A life's worth is determined by the lives it impacts. As St. John said, "My children, love one another."